But I only went to Goldrick for a few grades. Think until 4th grade. I think 5th grade I got pulled out, moved to another school. And it was because of me, actually. Well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask my dad, I got pulled out because I was fighting so much, which I was. And if you ask my mom, she said I got pulled out because I needed a better education, which I did. So maybe it wasn't an either or, but a both. But irrelevant now, anyway. But Goldrick was a public school, and it wasn't the greatest of schools. I mean, that's true. It's true I was getting into fights. Some of them were defensive, some of them were offensive, where I was just being a bully and a punk. For example, here's one. For whatever reason, I got it in my head, I felt like I needed to be the first dude at school. And I don't know why. It was just one of those random feral thoughts that went in. And I mean, I just got up early, got my stuff, and left. I mean, you gotta understand, we could do that back then. I didn't tell my parents where I was going. I mean, it was a school day. Of course they're going to school, I'm going to school, but they didn't stop to think or ask why I was going so early. I don't even think they were awake. So off I went. And I get there, and lo and behold, there's another dude already there. Someone had beat me to it. And where someone else might have shrugged and said, well, dang, maybe I'll try again tomorrow. Nope, not me. I shrugged my shoulders and said, well, this kid deserves an ass kicking. And so I walked up there and took a swing, and he turned his back to me. I got him in a chokehold, and he tried to throw us into it. He tried to get me off by throwing us into a chain link fence, so it just absorbed our blow. So I'm just still on his back, got him in a chokehold, and he's bouncing us off a chain link fence. I'm like this big human backpack, and he can't get rid of me. Anyways, that's literally about as far as it went. He's like, wait, why are we fighting? And that's a legitimate question. I can honestly understand his confusion as to why I attacked him. Like, dude, I wanted to be first today, and here you are wrecking my day. He's like, what? I don't know if we had that deep of a conversation. I honestly don't. I'm playing it out in my mind's eye as if we did. It makes sense to me that would happen, but that whole scenario doesn't make sense at all anyway. On the darker side of things, I did get into a lot of more serious fights. I still got scars on my hands from gravel, from glass, things that were used in fights. Sometimes the fights were on school grounds, sometimes they weren't. Sometimes they were behind a library that was adjacent to the school. Always with the crowd. It always seemed like it was an honor thing. I don't know. Like I know many of them, like I said, I'm a chubby kid. Chubby kids get bullied. That's just the way it is. And, the chubby kid learns to fight back, or he crawls into a shell and hides. I chose to do a little bit of both, honestly. To this day, I'm still an introvert until I get comfortable around you. And then when I get comfortable around you, look out, I'm not going to shut up. But, I'm usually not the guy that's going to initiate a conversation. I'm usually not the guy that's going to be the first to stick my hand out. I'm going to be the guy that's going to be in the corner observing the room and kind of seeing what people's interactions are like before I get involved. But you know, at the same time, I wasn't opposed to fighting back, especially if it's right up in my face. And a lot of times it was. It just was. So there's a lot of that going on. There's one fight in particular I really remember well, because again, it was just so absurd for our age and for our setting. Keep in mind, we're in an elementary school, single digit grades here, you know, second, third, fourth. I got into a fight with somebody and had actually won that fight. And that wasn't good enough. I mean, keep in mind, there's always crowds of people, at least 10, 20 kids hanging around wanting to see how this plays down. And I'd won this fight, fair and square, just out-punched him. I was standing, he was wanting to get away. So someone in the crowd let him get away, pulled him out, and then they, instead of dispersing and calling it a day, somebody else steps in and takes a swing. I fight him. I beat him. I am thoroughly exhausted now. If you've never been in a fight, it is a tiring thing, especially when it's not structured and you're just going until somebody stops. And that wasn't enough. A bro number 3 steps in. Fortunately, he was smaller than the first two, so he wasn't terribly hard to take out, but every muscle in my body is burning. I am exhausted. I'm breathing heavy. And nope, in comes number 4. And that's what finally gets me, is I'm done. I'm literally tapped out. I almost can't fight back. This guy's fresh. And he plows into me, knocks me to the ground, and is getting ready to curb stomp me, and that's when a teacher shows up. Bear in mind, this is all during recess. Gen X is a wild generation. There wasn't playground monitors, concerned parents hanging around. There was teachers taking their lunch break at the same time we were taking ours. And this guy happened to be, I believe, the gym teacher. So I was just literally lucky that he happened to come by an open window or a door, saw what was going on, and broke us up. Or else, man, it would have ended just badly for me. I remember this one incident. I don't remember what grade I was in, but I never really had much interaction with black kids when I grew up. It was all Mexican. But there's this one black girl. I remember her name distinctly. It was Liza. And I remember her being quiet, keeping to herself. Like, the only reason why I remember her is because of this horrible situation that she was forced into because of a a-hole teacher. So, remember sitting in class, we have these hardwood chairs and desks that are all like one unit. So you slide into your seat and the desk lid opens up and it has all your supplies inside the desk. You grab what you need, close the desk lid, and then you're able to do your work there. And I remember Liza raising her hand, teacher calling on her, and she asking if she could go to the restroom. She had to go to the restroom. And the teacher said, no, you should have gone to the restroom before you came into class. And she's like, please, sir, I have to go to the restroom really bad. And he's like, no, You get up to go to the restroom, I'm taking you straight to the office, and you're going to be in trouble. And the poor little girl ended up peeing herself right there in the class in front of everybody, in her dress, all over the floor, all on that desk seat. She ran out crying, of course, with the teacher right behind her. And I felt so bad for her. Well, next day, of course, now she's coming back to school and she has to, and you know, kids are merciless. They have no mercy at all, no filters. And a group of kids are starting to try to, you know, pick on her because of what happened the day before. And I got mad. I went over there and started defending her. And, you know, I got in trouble for fighting. They got in trouble for fighting. And I don't remember seeing Liza at school after that. But that was probably one of the better instances of me fighting, was I was actually defending someone. But yeah, that was rough. I still think about that to this day. Just how unnecessary that was. Hell, the teacher could have just walked her to the bathroom if he was worried about something happening. I don't know. Oh my. Remember using my cast in a fight. I think it was this wrist. Anyways, I was doing something I shouldn't have, disobeying my dad. My dad was down under our house in a crawl space doing something. I don't know what he was doing. But the crawl space door was on the outside of our house, and the thing must have weighed like 40 pounds. It was heavy and not stable. I went down under the house and got in the way of that door. And he scolded me, as he should have, and told me to get back up and out. And so as I was climbing out, I was still a little one, and so I wasn't able to just hop out of the crawl space opening. I had to wiggle and kind of scooch and crawl my way out. Well, that shifted something, and that door came down on me. What's wild is I remember it coming down around and hitting me in my midsection across the base of my back. But somehow this wrist got broken. I don't know if it was like the shock and my wrist slammed down on the rocks or what. Well, Dad came out from the crawl space, got the door off me, got me up, looked at my wrist, knew that it was broken, gave me some ice cream to calm me down, and then we went to Gates Medical Clinic and got me casted up. So what does that have to do back at school? Back at school, kids saw me with, a cast, and so they felt like they could take advantage of that. And I remember this little thing one of them told me, "Kelly's got a belly like a bowl of jelly." And it was true. But you know, the truth hurts. But you know what else hurts? A cast across the head. Back to the principal's office we go. Yeah, and those were plaster casts back then too, so it was heavy. Oh my goodness. Good times. Yeah, we were pretty feral kids. Well, we're to Ellsworth now. I'm gonna get gas. My voice is raw. I think that's about all we're gonna talk about from Goldrick and elementary school. I can't really think of much more specifically to talk about. But those were some days, man.